Hey, friends, welcome to another episode of Powerful on Purpose podcast, where we talk to fabulous women who are using their stories to build businesses and fulfill their mission. And today I am super excited about our next guest, and this is Stacey Rae Mednick. I want to get out the words right? And she's a personal trainer, a health coach, and fitness instructor devoted to women, helping women over 40 live vibrant, confident, and healthy lives from the inside out, which I love that part, right? I'm all about marketing everything inside out so that we're in perfect alignment. And Stacey Rae believes that true wellness means nurturing both body and soul. And her mission really is to help women realize that and not just add years to their lives, but life to their years. Welcome, Stacey Rae.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, likewise. Excited to visit with you. And I super love not just adding years to our life, but life to our years. So, before we go down your story, speak to that a little bit because it's such a powerful message, right?
Yes. Okay. Absolutely. Well, we want to have a long life. And in order to do that, we need to do some preventative measures because we want to have a long life. But in that long life, we're hoping to not be sick, right? We can only control what we can control. We're not in control of everything. But if we can help with preventing things along the way as we go, especially as we go into our 40s, 50s, and beyond, then we can help with anything that might come our way to conquer that better with being healthier, right? Say we get sick, say we have a health issue that we had no idea was coming our way. So helping to prevent and then helping to prolong our lives in a healthy way so that we are not living long lives sick, but we're living longer lives healthy. So we're talking about health span here.
Right.
Long,
right.
healthy
And
health
quality
span.
of life, right?
Quality of life.
Yeah.
Stickly, yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that gets mired in other stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me a little bit about, because I always like to ask everybody, what is your story? Why are you doing what you're doing? There's always a story behind what we're doing, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I've been in the health and fitness industry for 42 years. I started teaching aerobics at the tender age of 16. And I actually was going to school at San Diego State. And one of the things that really helped propel me into the business that I do now and have since then is that I was having a conversation with my kinesiology teacher, Dr. Peter Francis. I'll never forget his name, and I adored him. And I had asked him about my body type, and telling him, I teach a lot of aerobics. I can't lose weight. Do you know why? I mean, I'm bigger up top and smaller on the bottom. And I do all these things. I'm eating healthy. I'm exercising. I'm teaching, all of these classes. And I would think that I would be getting better results with what I'm doing. And you are my professor. Do you have any insight? And he basically really didn't have any insight for me. And so that sent me and propelled me into a journey of researching body types, which are called somatotyping. And I discovered that, and his answer did not fulfill me. I felt short-sighted by it. And being him the professor and me the student, I felt like I should have had a better answer from him, but that's okay. But it got me curious, and it got me curious from a very, very tender age of about 21. So I went to work and I did some research, and I found a lot about somatotyping, which is your body type and also psychological characteristics that go with that. Because I came across a psychologist, actually. His name is Dr. William Shelton, and he matched up personality traits with body types. So I got a little bit more curious and thought, okay, well, if we're doing this somatotyping and we're matching body types with, behaviors and personalities, then why not with, athletes and how we get results and just kind of tying this whole package together. So I went down that rabbit hole for many, many years, and I discovered that there's 4 different body types. And there's different ways to exercise for them and to get results. And to answer my question that I asked my professor, it finally dawned on me that one of the reasons that I'm not getting the results that I wanted at the time was because I'm a mesomorph. I carry my weight in my upper body, kind of like an apple. So when I gain weight, it's all in the back area and around my bra area and my belly and in upstairs rather than from the waist down.
Right.
I know that's kind of a long-winded question, but what it did was instead of going into teaching PE and biology, the reason I was going to school, it sent me on a journey and a love for wanting to teach fitness and to build a business and work with women. And through this course of time, I have been working with women and having great passion for that and helping them all along the way understand their body type. Because when we're born, we're not born with a bracelet that might say boy or girl, but there's nothing else on there. There's no directions. There's no what's your body type. There's no information. There's no education. And they're not talking about this in high school. They're not talking about this at the doctor's office. This is just information we are clueless about as humans, what our body types are. Now, nowadays we're hearing a little bit more about that from trainers and on social media and what have you. But I had insight to it many, many years ago, and it's what got me extremely curious. And it's one of the reasons why women kind of don't understand why they can't get the results they want.
Right? Exactly. I was thinking and I'm sure the diet industry doesn't want anyone to know this, right? Or
Yes.
to a certain extent, the gyms and stuff, because they all sell a very similar product for different people's bodies. And exactly, wow. So that's such a powerful story and message. And I can see why you're so passionate, because once you're really empowering people to take back their control by knowing this information, and then, okay, like I got this, it's not going to change. How do I work with that?
Bingo. And
Yeah.
with that comes self-love and self-acceptance, because we as women are so good at self-bashing and shaming. It's not somebody else that verbally abuses us, although that is an unfortunate situation in some circumstances. But we are our biggest enemy at some points. Our negative self-talk, the chatter in our head, and the conversations that we have with ourselves are very concerning to me. So I like to talk with clients about that as well. It's not just the physical aspect of getting results, but it's also the mental, the
Right.
connection of having a healthy mind and body and spirit all in one.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you see people either wanting to lose weight or look a certain way because of some of the stories we've got, right? Or then when
Yes.
we do, we still are hanging on to those stories. So we gain weight back, or because we haven't addressed some of the reasons why we might gain weight, especially for women, I think.
Correct.
Yeah, men might be a little bit
Absolutely.
a different deal. And maybe you could tell us that as far as the reasons why weight is gained and or kept or regained.
Right. Well, men and women share the same body types. We have the 4 different body types. We didn't get to choose our parents. And oftentimes that's where the gene pool comes, right? From mom and dad. But sometimes it can come from a grandma or a grandpa on either side, or an aunt or an uncle. So it really is interesting when you understand your body type. But men and women, they can each be an ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph, or a mesoendo. And those different body types, so they don't deviate just because you're male or female. They're very much there. But I think it's kind of more of a conversation for most women that they might be a little bit more curious. But men as well should know that, because there is a huge part of men that are suffering from poor self-esteem, body dysmorphia, less confidence, not being accepted, especially with all the social media.
Right.
When I was first going to school and learning about all of this, and even going through my own stuff with my own body and, getting to know myself, and we as humans do that. But now we've got social media that's all over the map with, supposedly these perfect people and these perfect bodies and these perfect lives that everybody's seeing, right? And
Right.
that's not so.
Right.
There is a big issue here in our society with social media and self-acceptance and what we compare and expect to look like or should look like.
Exactly. And I can see why it would be, your message would be so important, is we might not like the realization, but there is the realization I am never going to look like that, no matter
Exactly.
what I do.
Exactly. And it's a conversation we should have because it brings false hope. It
Right.
brings unattainable goals and unsustainable situations and behaviors. And it also can be downright dangerous for some women because they're so willing to deprive or starve or train in a certain way because they think that that is something they can get to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of scary. Um, yeah. Very cool though. So what are you fired up about in your business right now?
Well, as I was sharing with you earlier before we started the call, I just recently moved from 42 years of living in California to Arizona, from the beach to the desert. So what I'm fired up about is I am self-employed. I didn't come here with a job, so to speak. I do have an online presence where I train clients online and had been doing that prior to coming, but I'm starting over new. So I'm meeting new people. I'm getting out in the community and seeing where I can meet more women and get involved in groups. And that's exciting to me because I'm all about women. I'm all about lifting other women up. I love to encourage other women, other entrepreneurs. I love women and I love women in business. And so as I slowly start to build my business here in the area that I'm in, that's exciting to me. That's exciting to me. It's kind of put a little bit of a fire under my step, especially
Right.
after being in this business for so long. It's sometimes putting yourself in an uncomfortable, unknowing situation can really do something to help you to get more just fired up about what you do and want to share the good news.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. Sometimes you need to shake it up, right?
Yeah. Yes. That's one way of doing it. Yes, because I did leave California. I left a thriving business in 2020. Unfortunately, my business shut down because I was in California. I had a women's studio, very small studio, because I was in a very strict state with how they handled things and deemed a non-essential business. Our governor shut down businesses that were deemed non-essential, and a lot of them never reopened, and mine was one of them. So
Right.
I had to do a pivot because I still wanted to take my clientele, um, on a health journey, even during this unknown time back then. So within 3 days, I created an online business, and I still to this day have several of those women that never came back in person with training with me online 5.5 years later.
Awesome. Wow, that's quite a record. Yeah, that they're like, we're hanging with Stacey Rae.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I appreciate that they do. They're lovely. And you know what? It works for them. And it got me out of once again, I had to get out of my comfort zone, do a pivot. And online training for women is fabulous. I mean, all you need is a 8x8 square area. You have your own little home studio. You're in the comfort of your own home. You put on your tennis shoes, your workout outfit, you turn on your computer, and there I am, and there you are, and your peeps are there, and you're exercising together. It's a community, and it's really been a blessing, and I'm so grateful for technology, especially
Oh,
during that very challenging time for me.
right. Absolutely. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
good things about technology, and it really can
Yes.
bring people together who, I talked to somebody in Germany. We did a podcast. That would have never been possible, right? Before.
Correct. Correct.
So yeah, there's so many great things. What do you what do you see happening on the online space as far as fitness training? Do you see more people will be moving to doing fitness online?
I think it's here to stay. And I can honestly say, as a small business owner, that I'm very grateful to be in a part of that space because there is something for everyone. I have access to working with people all over the world. Um, and I think that that excites me in itself because I want a broader, bigger reach, right? Not everybody can come to me in person. So I like the hybrid opportunity to be able to see people in person, but also to be able to coach them online from all
Right.
over because I feel that I have a lot to share and I want to love on as many women as I can so that I can help them feel better from the inside out so they can feel better and have a amazing life. So many women, I think just are waiting to lose that last 10 pounds or they're waiting to, do this before they do that. There's no waiting. No
Right.
more waiting. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you another quick story. I was about ready to do a Zoom workout on July 12th, 2023. And I walked in the kitchen to get some water before I got online, and I went back to my computer. And mind you, my women were waiting for me. I was just ready to just start the play button to get us going. And I started having some severe chest pain. And I didn't panic. I assessed because I know what the symptoms of heart attack and stroke are. And long story short, I was starting to have a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
So and my husband kept asking me, are you okay? What's going on? He could tell that I wasn't okay, but I didn't want to get him panicked out. And I didn't want my clients who are watching this to get panicked. So I just simply took myself off mute and said, ladies, something's going on with me. I don't feel well, but I have to go, and I'll get back in touch with you. Shut down the workout. And the next thing I knew, other symptoms were starting to come about. And that's when I knew I had to get to the hospital. And I had a widowmaker heart attack.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Yeah. Yep. So I went to the hospital. I went right to the ER, went right to the cath lab, and they put in a stent. While I was under, the doctor noticed another blockage. I had a 95% blockage in one of my LAD, my main artery to my heart. He saw another blockage, but he thought that I would be okay to take care of that one with medication. Fast forward 2 weeks later, I had another heart attack.
Holy moly.
So I am a heart attack survivor of 2 heart attacks. I have 2 stents in my heart. And my message to women is that take care of yourself, because it's the reason that I have been taking care of myself for all these years. Even though I'm in good shape, I'm not perfect. I don't eat perfectly. I do my best. But if and when something happens, your body will be ready to fight. And my body fought. And that's why the cardiologist said the reason that I lived.
Sure. Right. Because basically, you've been training all your life, right? That's
my whole life.
That's all our life is this little training ground. Yeah.
Yes.
Or
yes.
something like that, where we're like, our body goes, oh, I know what to do. I have resources. You've prepared me for this.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So I have a whole other story there, and I'm very open about it. And women need to know that heart attacks do not discriminate, and that heart attack symptoms for us are different than they are for men, and that you need to listen to your body. And if you feel like you are getting pushed around or sent home, when you go to the doctor and tell them a symptom, to be very assertive and let them know that you want them to dig deeper, because there are lots of tests that they can do to see if there is anything going on, with a possibility that you might be heading towards having a heart attack or a stroke.
Right. Right. Yeah. Super solid advice, right? Be assertive with your doctors.
Be assertive. You bet.
Yeah. The medical industry is still behind in women and women's symptoms.
Correct. They sure are. And never drive yourself to the ER or the doctor. Men, if any men watch this video, or women, you do not get in the car with chest pain and drive yourself behind the wheel. Ever, ever, ever. Call 911.
Right. Yeah. We're still in by people like whoever you are.
Well, you wouldn't be surprised. People do crazy things and they don't think clearly. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that is a great story. And I can see that you do have a super powerful message around both those stories, right? They're obviously related, but really people taking control of their lives and their health.
Absolutely. And something to think about too is when I work with clients, I always share with them that, you might have and especially when I talk with women about their body types. Well, I don't want to be a pear shape. I want to be a banana, this back and forth. Okay. Well, let's wait a second. Let's work through this. It's that, genetics is interesting, and genetics do play a role in the results that we get with our exercise and other things. But ability to get results. So you have a 70% window to make changes. You have a 70% window to make the environmental changes that you could make to get to the goals that you want to make and get to. So does that make sense? So you look at 100%, you look 30% of it coming from DNA, genetics, then you have 70% that you have the ability to make some incredible changes and make a huge difference with yourself to help you get to where you want to go.
Wow. And yeah, actually, that is a lot of flexibility, isn't it?
It is a lot of and that's why I'm sharing that with your audience, because we do have a lot of flexibility and we do have a lot of ability, and that should bring hope. That should bring a lot of hope to anybody that's hearing this video. There are all the different body types, and they all have different characteristics, and you have different personalities with these body types. And it's very interesting because I have studied them and I've worked with so many women over the course of time. It's very interesting because when their personalities come out and then I see their body types, that actually with the study that I did with Dr. William Sheldon, who was a psychologist, and he talked about personality traits with body types, and then you add the physical. It's very interesting to see all of that come together. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
An ectomorph is a body type that's long and lean. Okay. Also, just to give you an analogy, would be a banana. And so they can sometimes have a little bit of a faster metabolism. They sometimes are more of your runners. They're more of the ones that are on the spin bikes. They're your cardio people that are doing more cardio and out doing all the marathons and things like that rather than the weight training. And they are very, very, they sometimes can tend to be perfectionists, and they can be very hard on themselves. And there are other things to go along with that body type, but they're usually the ones that need to do more weight training because they're more amped from a disease perspective to be more on the lines of getting osteopenia or osteoporosis. So it's extremely important for certain body types because there are risk factors with certain body types from a health perspective as well. And they want to know about that as well. So that's what I do. I help them discover what their body types are and what are some of the possible things that could go on from a health perspective. So just like myself, I am a mesomorph is more prone to having a stroke or heart attack because of where the fat is accumulated in the mid belly, where the visceral fat is close to the heart. So even though I don't have a ton of visceral fat there, so that possibly does and can play a role in something having a significant health situation happen with certain body types. So that's also something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. What would you say is a challenge for your business right now?
I think right now that some people just aren't spending as much money as they are on training. I think that people are holding back just a little bit with their finances. I don't know if it's due to certain situations going on in the world or what have you, but people have the money to, go and get a Starbucks and go out to eat and all of these things. And when I'm chatting with somebody about not having enough money to, hire a health coach, because I do also health coaching and I teach about macros, muscles, and mindset. I have a program that I teach online to clients. But I think that, and maybe it's just that I moved to a new state. The way that people spend money here is a little bit different than they spend money in California. So maybe that's playing into my answer to you right now. But regardless, your health is an investment, and your body needs to know that you care enough about it to love it. So if it's hiring a personal trainer, hiring a health coach to help you understand your body better and get the results that you desire, that's money well spent.
Oh,
especially when you look at where you spend your money, and everybody spends money differently, but everybody, I think it's a priority, and I think it's a huge investment. And I think it's something that people will be glad that they do make an investment. If they do try to hire a trainer, regardless if it's me or someone else, I would encourage you to do that, because you're a trainer that's educated and certified and has been in the business, long enough, they're going to be able to really give you some valid information for you to get the best results possible.
Right. Okay. Like we could go on, right? And
Right.
this was not a question I intended, but I think it's really maybe an interesting one. What would you say to somebody who said, well, I'm just going to AI and it's come up with a training plan for me?
Gotcha. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is a big determiner that I'm seeing, because I'm watching all of this in my industry, that they talk about AI jobs being taking place of different AI taking over for certain industries or certain jobs or what have you. That is a big issue, because a lot of people are going to AI and chat GBT and, hey, I need a workout, blah, 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 blah. And it just types it out for you. Well, that's all great and everything, but what about the personal relationship that comes into play with a trainer, which is extremely important?
Right.
A personal relationship, I don't know that AI will ever be able to replace a trainer and that human, whether it's online or in person, that human connection that you build when you have a trainer and a coach and someone who really cares about you. I don't think that AI will ever master that in the industry that I'm in, and I hope that it doesn't. But it definitely is a concern, because I see it all over. I also see social media as a little bit of an issue for trainers as well, because you've got a lot of influencers that are great. They might be in shape, or they might have lost a lot of weight, and now they know all of these things. Same thing. And they've got all this huge following and what have you, and people connecting with them. But when it comes to a personal trainer that's certified and trained and who knows their business, there's a big difference between AI or following an influencer in that way as well.
Well, and certainly if we looked at your example of heart attacks, right? You're not going to go to AI in that instance. And maybe it's not even going to recognize, well, I don't know. I suppose you could build it into AI, but the body types and all the things that you're very knowledgeable in, right?
Yes.
That's where I'm sort of seeing that disconnect too, is sure,
Exactly.
AI is going to give you something, but a personal trainer is going to be very specific to you. Okay, what do you like? What do you don't? How do we tailor this so it really motivates and inspires you?
Exactly. And I'm also a human being, and the AI is not. And I think that as we move along this journey with AI, I think we really need to all come back to the basic understanding that you will never replace a human and a human relationship, no matter how good or beneficial AI becomes. Because a human relationship and the knowledge that we have as humans to another human in regards to a topic or training or whatever it is that the client's looking for, you will not be able to replace that.
Right.
I truly believe that.
Well, at the end of the day, we still need people, right?
We do.
Yeah, AI is great for certain things. I use it all the time, love it. But I also think there's something important about not losing human connection.
Correct.
And this need for somebody to understand us and understand the challenges we're going through and make that simpler for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that it's important to, sorry, not to cut you off, to interrupt you. But I just really think that we need to be having more conversations about this, like what you and I are having too, because it is going to definitely, and we're seeing more and more and more of it. Every time, if I'm on social media, I do business on social media, I do all kinds of things, but I also like to see what's going on out there. And there is a lot of this AI, this person with no head, giving an exercise demonstration, and it's free, of course. So that's been another little hardship, I think, in when I talk to a lot of my peers in my profession, that the free training and the free apps and all of that has definitely been something that we're all having to kind of take a second look at as trainers that charge money for our time.
Right.
All the free. Once again, you don't build a relationship with somebody. And there's something to be said about that, I think. I'm very much a relational person, and I get to know my clients and I love them dearly. And I think that there's quite a connection that you won't get.
Right.
with-
Well,
yeah,
and especially too that, you talked about it earlier. We did a little bit that emotional component of weight
sure.
loss and health. And that's huge. Again, we don't really talk about that though, do we either as people, just in general, but AI is not going to be able to give you that part of it.
No, they're not going to master that. I
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't see it. The feeling, I mean, the feelings and the tone of your voice and just those things that we offer as human beings, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
exactly.
Well, this has been a delightful conversation. Like I said, we could go on forever.
Yep,
So,
yep.
so if people want to get hold of you, because I know you also, Stacey Rae is offering a free 20-minute consultation if you want to connect with her about your health or workout challenges. She would love to visit with you. How would
Mhm.
people schedule that, and where can they find you online?
Okay, my website is healthy and the letter N, so the word healthy and fit with
Okay.
staceyrae.com. And my email is healthy, the letter N, fit with staceyrae@gmail.com. And I guess that would, they could email me would be a great, you can check out my website, email me, and I could also leave my phone number if you wanted to text or call.
Well, we'll leave your website and your email in
Yeah.
the show notes, and then they
Okay.
could probably connect with you on. Are you on Facebook,
I'm on
Instagram?
Facebook, Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. Yep. I'm on
Okay,
TikTok. Yeah.
perfect. So they can hook up with you there and get some
Yeah.
tips.
Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
any last words of advice or anything you want to share as we wrap this up?
Yes. Absolutely. It's never too late to get started on an exercise program. I don't care if you're 90. Don't wait. Try not to procrastinate. Your body is your most important asset. And if you keep waiting for tomorrow or the next week or the next month, you'll wait and wait and wait. Do something every day to move your body, make better food choices, drink water, get good sleep, de-stress, and, take care of yourself because your health is your wealth. It's not the other way around.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, those are great words to end on. And again, thank you so much. It's
You're
been
welcome.
wonderful.
Yes,
All
thank you.
right.
It's a pleasure. Okay.
Great. Yeah.
I'll see you.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for sticking with us for another episode, and stay tuned because we're talking to more powerful women who are living their lives on purpose.
Thank you. Bye-bye.